Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour. Thank you for joining us. We are here every Saturday from 1 to 2 o'clock. And I'm Susan. I'm here with Randy Donley, and today with Mike Donley also. We're the owners of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois, just 60 miles west of Chicago. How are you guys doing? What's happening at Donley Auctions this week?
Well. Hey, Susan, Randy here. And I must say, just like always, items moving in and out like crazy. It's been like an ant farm at Donley Auctions.
It's like a rotating museum. Every time you come over to our place, it's different.
Well, it is. You know, it's funny you would mention that because customers are saying that all the time. Oh, my God, I can't believe the look this
Everything's
week.
Everything's changed, yeah.
It does. It comes and goes so fast. So
what do you got coming in? What new stuff you guys got coming in? I know you guys are busy on new leads from all the phone calls we're getting from our listeners, so thank you very much.
We got a whole truckload coming in from California of gambling items coming up for our November, which we'll talk about later on.
Okay.
It's a huge thing coming in.
Like slot machines and...
Well, yeah,
kinds of good stuff.
The California lead is fabulous because the gentleman that consigned it, actually his profession...
What's that?
He's a gambler.
He's a professional gambler.
That's what he does for a living. And
like a poker player? Or what?
I don't know. He's a gambler.
Wow.
I guess he gambles on everything. But his collection is fabulous. And one of my favorite pieces that he's consigning is a extremely rare slot machine called an operator bell. I mean, all the years I've been doing this, I've always hoped to find one. But never have. So here we have it in the auction, along with other rare and unusual slot machines. And,
even back in the day when you and Mike had your little business of buying slot machines, you never saw one, huh?
Well, never had one. The opportunity to buy one. No, they're that rare.
Yeah, we've seen them. These were the first ones invented by Charles Fay, and there weren't a lot of them made, so there's not a lot of them around, and a lot of things got destroyed in the 20s and 30s with the gambling raids, where they would just literally take slot machines out of saloons and stuff and hit them with baseball bats and smash them up.
And not only that, of course, the scrap drive for World War II destroyed a lot of this stuff. I mean, all the scrap metal that that people could find. I mean, they were just dumping it to help the war drive.
So we got some great stuff coming up for this November Fall Classic, November 14th to the 17th. Mark your calendars. What were you going to say, Mike?
No, I was going to say, nobody ever thought of these things as being collectible ever. I mean, they were machines that were used for a purpose, and once they got old and obsolete, they were scrapped. So nobody said, hey, let's save one of these someday because it might be worth something.
That's right. Just like those old computers. Who would have thought they're so collectible today? Had we known, we would have kept them.
You know, I think about this all the time back when we did the big auction for the Medina Temple in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the one room that was a computer room?
Yeah.
They had hundreds and hundreds of old computers and screens, and these guys had the earliest of equipment because they started with technology right away when the first computers came out. And at that period of time when we were doing that auction, nobody understood early computers being valuable, so I'm sure we scrapped all that.
Oh, absolutely wasn't. And nobody ever, they saved it because it was expensive technology, and they just couldn't force themselves to throw it away. So it just got pushed off into the corner and piled up. But
just hundreds and hundreds.
They didn't know how to dispose of them, so they just kept them.
But like I say, we were right on the cusp of collecting them then, so it was just a little too soon.
Yeah, boy, to have that to do over again. So what's our next auction coming up?
Okay, so next up is our September Firearms and Military Memorabilia Auction, September 21st and 22nd. Anything you guys want to talk about there? Are we still taking consignments for that?
Well, we are. It may seem like it's too close, but it
really is just a few weeks away.
Yeah, but we're still taking guns and gun collections, and people have to understand how many of these we do a year. We do at least 4. So every 3 months we're repeating this. So don't think that if you're missing this one, you shouldn't be consigning now for the next big one.
In December, right.
Yeah, it's never too soon to consign. And I think all the time when we're doing this that our shows are always repeating themselves. The people are hearing all the time, oh, I want guns, I want military relics and everything. But yet there was just a person came in this week and said to me, I heard you saying that you don't want to keep asking for guns, but had you have not, he said, I'm a first-time listener. And he said, I'm here because I heard your show last Saturday. And he said, had you have not asked for guns, I wouldn't be here right now.
That's right. That's why we repeat ourselves a lot.
We do have to continue to tell people what we're looking for.
That's right. And just real quick before our next segment, I just want to acknowledge that it's Labor Day weekend. You guys got big plans this weekend? Big plans? We're going to a wedding. Just a reminder, Randy, we're going to a wedding.
I have to take apart a roller coaster.
Oh, that
right.
Sounds
like fun.
We sold the roller coaster from the Wild West town in our last auction.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Anything and everything sells, every price range. So whether you've got items that are worth $500 or $500,000, I mean, we can sell it.
Yeah, one item or an entire collection. Give us a call at 815-923-7000 or just send us an email at consign@donleyauctions.com. But back to Labor Day weekend. I know we got a lot of stuff going on. I want to recognize, that the American labor movement, that's what it's all about, right? And all the contributions and developments and achievements in the United States. And just a little bit of background history on that is the first parade was in New York in 1882 when they finally decided to set the date. First Monday in September is Labor Day. But it also marks the unofficial end of summer.
Oh, okay.
I know. I don't even want to think about that.
You can't wear white anymore?
You can't wear white anymore. But for you specifically, Mike, you can no longer wear your seersucker suits or your straw hats.
No.
Or your straw hat, Randy.
Well, tell the listeners what used to happen in New York years ago.
Well, in 1922, they used to have street riots in New York City where gangs would snatch the hats off of the violators who didn't follow the rules of no straw hats after Labor Day. So you guys are safe. Hopefully. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if that's all the street riots were?
Yeah.
Were about snatching your hats.
I do want to say, though, if you're going to celebrate Labor Day, you should have a job.
Yes, if you don't have a job, I don't think you can celebrate Monday. Is that not nice to say? I don't know.
What if you're giving birth that day?
Oh, geez.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
But anyway, some of the greatest achievements in history, because of, acknowledging all of these great things that happened, why we celebrate Labor Day, is Man on the Moon in 1969, which brings me to our Apollo collection. We have Apollo astronaut collection coming up in September. Randy, what do you know about that Apollo collection? It's signatures, correct?
Autographs of famous astronauts.
Yeah. So we got a interesting Apollo landing collection coming up. I believe that is on Saturday, September 21st.
Well, and again, to that point, if you have any interesting space items out there, we're always looking for more. In fact, I have a friend who just got a rocket donated to his museum.
A rocket?
Yeah.
It was actually used to explore space? Wow.
And a private individual had it and donated it to his museum. So who knows what's out there? Right.
Well, one of the other things I want to touch real quick on, another greatest achievement, are machine guns. And I know we have machine gun movie props coming up also in our September gun and military auction. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Matt Stratton is a gentleman who owns a company that rents guns and movie props to the movies, of course.
Right, in Hollywood.
And he's retiring. He said after the accidents that he was never involved in,
That's right.
the things that have happened, he said, you know what? He said, I'm old, I'm done, I'm happy to move on, and I'm selling off all of my memorabilia through Donley Auctions, and hope that people want these movie props. And there's all kinds of. He specialized in firearms. He's an armorer, So whether it's a real gun, just a prop gun, or a...
What about the ones that run on propane?
Those are propane-fired machine guns that, again, all these guns have been used in multiple movies. They come with COAs.
Mm-hmm. They have the provenance with them.
Yeah, and even pictures of Matt, the owner, standing with them in some of the movie productions and so on. Interesting collection.
Don't we have a video on our website of him firing? Firing that,
we do. Yes, go to our website
gun?
at donleyauctions.com for a video of Matt shooting one of those movie prop guns, I'm
right
sure.
Right in front of our place. I heard it the other day, and it's like, what the heck is going on out there now?
Just another day at Donley Auctions, Yeah,
machine gun fire in front of
Yeah, what's the big deal? Doesn't everybody do that? But keep in mind, our next auction, September 21st and 22nd, our guns and military. Those movie props will be on September 22nd. That is a Sunday, folks. But don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan. I'm co-owner of Donley Auctions here with Randy Donley and Mike Donley. And we're just located 60 miles west of Chicago in Union, Illinois. And we're talking today about some upcoming auctions and that it's not too late to consign your valuables to one of our auctions. And our next segment, our topic of discussion is going to be our auction in October. We're calling it Rocktober. Why is that?
Well, I would have to say the big collection of vintage guitars. I mean, we have a fabulous, fabulous collection. Two different consignors have put in just about 100 guitars at this point, and I'm talking really great stuff. I mean, Fenders, Gibsons, all kinds of amplifiers and speakers, and you name it. We've got it for sale here.
And so we're still looking for consignments for that, yes?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, these are collectors who've been collecting for years. This isn't, some music house trying to dump their inventory. These guys have been collecting these things for years, so there's some really nice stuff there.
Yeah.
So Rocktober is going to be on Sunday, October 20th. Guitars, amps, receivers, tuners, turntables, all kinds of great stuff. What we're looking for that specifically are some more rare items, don't you think? Because I want to bring our attention to an item that we sold many years ago when we got started in our auction company. We sold the lyrics to the song called He's Gone. You remember that?
Boy, I sure do. That was during one of our very first Grateful Dead auctions.
Yes.
We've done multiple auctions for the employees that worked for the Grateful Dead.
Great original items of Jerry Garcia's and stuff. But these lyrics were handwritten on lined paper. They sold for $49,000.
Right.
These original lyrics. So we're kind of looking for some interesting things like that to lace into this Rocktober auction. So if you have anything, give us a call at 815-923-7000 or send us an email at consign@Donley Auctions.
Just as a little side note, the lyrics "He's Gone" were specifically written about one of the problems that they were having, where the money was stolen. The band's money was actually
stolen by the manager.
The manager, right? So
we're always having financial problems.
He's gone. Had a lot to do with.
He went to prison.
Well, he did
for
go
6
to jail.
months. Yeah. That's a good story. So, again, just to tie that into the Rocktober auction, we're still looking for consignments for any music-related memorabilia.
And, Chicago had so many, back in the 60s, so many great garage bands and ones that went on to make hits. Mm-hmm. There's got to be some great stuff laying around in Chicago here. So,
right?
Yeah, Mike and I mentioned this last week when we were doing the show. It doesn't have to be guitars or amplifiers. I mean, we're looking for anything, costumes or band owned items. We even sold. You talk about band items. We sold a '56 Chevy
That's right. Jerry Garcia's.
For Jerry Garcia's 56 Chevy that used to be parked next to the studio, that they left the keys in it, and anybody could drive it at any time. You just got in the car and drove. As long as you returned it, everybody was happy.
Yeah, we sold some great stuff with Jerry Garcia's. His T-shirt from his last show at Soldier Field, that was like $25,000 for that Hanes 2XL faded black T-shirt.
And I always
Crazy.
said a DNA collector is who bought that. Somebody, there's
I'm sure there's lots
collect-
of DNA and not just his on that T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Be nice.
Go back
Be
to the
nice.
Chicago scene. I mean, there's posters around that people have saved from their concerts. Ticket stubs. I mean, somebody was just talking about the other day that their sister has her tickets from the Beatles concert at Comiskey Park. Any of that stuff. Even things as obscure as, remember the old silver dollar surveys that would, every week WLS would put out? The hit list and stuff like that. Anything like that is collectible from the 60s and 70s. So,
I'll be darned.
So dig through your stuff. It's worth money.
So how do they contact us, Susan?
All right. Do you have rock memorabilia, anything rare and unique? Give us a call at 815-923-7000. Or you can email us at consign@donleyauctions.com. All we need is a brief description and some photos, and I will distribute that to our guitar expert or any of those guys to get you a fair valuation of what you have and see if we can put it in our October auction. It's Sunday, October 20th.
And, we're not only selling guitars, as I said, all types of music memorabilia. We're going to be adding antique phonographs, music boxes, and all kinds of great items. Right now, it's only scheduled as a one-day auction, but I'm believing, depending, this could become a two-day auction. Absolutely.
What about that Moog? Remember that Moog electronic soundboard? Yeah, that thing's going in October, too, isn't it?
Yep.
Everybody's that's like that's
a hot item.
The hot item that they're talking about. If you know what I'm talking about out there, my local Chicago friends and bands, this is the auction you want to come to.
Yeah, those early synthesizers and keyboards and such like that, they bring a lot of money because the bands want that sound. The new ones cannot recreate that primitive sound of those earlier
the Moog
instruments. Yeah,
I mean, years ago, Mike, you and I used to be finding these all the time, and that was Hammond B3 organs.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Those are big, too.
Which were truly home model organs that the bands found. They just loved the sound, and the Hammond B3 used to be the thing for early rock bands.
I say we get a band to play at the event. How about that?
No.
No? Trying to do an auction
we're
instead?
Here to sell merchandise.
Or
not
maybe,
to entertain the
who
crowd.
knows, a guest appearance by somebody. Well, I'll find somebody.
Oh, you
we'll
probably
see what
will.
happens, yeah. But Rocktober is coming up Sunday, October 20th. So then, now we're into November already. Can you believe this year is just flying by? Let's talk about our November Fall Classic, because here, folks, you still have plenty of time to consign with us, and we are still looking for some great items for this one.
Well, that we are. I mean, just this last April, our April auction was kind of an addition to what we do in November, and it was always November and April. But now we added
August, the summer classic.
The summer classic. So the next classic, so to speak, is our November sale, and in going back to the last classic that we just did, we sold that Mr. Peanut.
Oh, yeah. I was going to talk a little bit about like the highlights from 2024 at Donley Auctions, and that is definitely one of our top 10 for sure. The Mr. Peanut Roaster sold for over $100,000.
Right.
It's on the cover of our catalog and our website and our flyers and everything. But I just wanted to just give you a little bit of history on Mr. Peanut. Do you know much about him?
I don't.
The logo, the brand, just real quick.
But I'm sure we're going to learn.
It was created. I got a trivia question that goes with it, too. In 1916, the founder of Planters Peanuts held a contest. And a 13-year-old grade schooler named Antonio won the contest with his rendition of Mr. Peanut. He won $5.
Well, that's a nice
little
amount
hit,
back
right?
then. Yeah.
Yeah, they've only made millions off of it.
Yeah, so what happened is he was so grateful and happy with the design and Brandon getting the company off the ground, that he did send all of his brothers and sisters to college. So,
there you go.
Paid for their whole college education.
There's the kind of company you want to work for. Yeah. Planters Peanuts.
That's right. The first TV commercial came out in the 50s, and he was a big star at the New York World's Fair in 61 to 65. And Mr. Peanut never spoke a word or talked until 2010.
I didn't know he ever talked.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's his name?
And his real formal name is, get this, I had no idea, Bartholomew Richard Fitzgerald Smith. That is his gentleman name.
Well, that Mr. Peanut has actually a name, so it's not the...
That's his real name. Yes, because he's of British heritage, I guess, and that's why they gave him a monocle and a cane and a top hat.
With this
fashion. But here's the trivia question. How many peanuts does it take to make a 12-ounce jar of peanut butter? We'll tell you about that in the next one. All right, you guys think about it. But anyway, so that peanut roaster was such a great item in our November auction. We're still looking for some interesting items like that.
And what else, Mike? What can you think of that we're looking for November? Let's lay it out on the line.
Well, as always, cars and motorcycles.
Cars,
and we've taken in a few beauties already. We got that 65 restored Mustang and that Ford Fairlane. Is it the one that came in?
Wait, back up. Yeah. A Ford Mustang, what year is it?
65. Beautiful. Done in marine colors.
Yeah.
I thought a Corvette just came in.
That was yesterday.
Oh,
Come
geez,
on.
I missed the Corvette. What year is the Corvette?
It's a 65. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 65 also, yeah.
65 coupe beauty.
Nice.
Really nice.
Okay.
Car.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Black on black.
Yeah.
Back in our next segment, too, because I want to talk about some of the cars that did sell this past year and the history of Donley Auctions and the types of cars we're looking for. All right, so you guys got that ready in your brain?
We do.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about cars coming up in our November Fall Classic. Again, call us at 815-923-7000 if you have anything you'd like to put up for auction. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan here with Randy and Mike Donley today. We're talking about our November Fall Classic that is coming up in November. What do you know? It's the 14th through the 17th. Mark your calendars, folks. You can come on out to Union, Illinois to bid live, or you can bid online from the convenience of your own home. But right now we're talking about some items we're looking for you to consign.
Need merchandise. We need Petroliana, signs, porcelain signs. Big money for porcelain signs if you have any. Old gas pumps, any condition, even if they're look like there's no paint left on them. I mean,
people still love to restore those.
They'll clear coat them too, just with that old look. So anything,
True.
Air pump, the tire pumps, the old air pumps, things like that. Oil bottles, oil cans. I mean, if you've got anything, send us a picture. We'll just as easily say bring it in, or no, it's not worth anything. I mean, it's just that easy. You don't want to throw anything away ever.
But I'm glad you brought up porcelain signs because we need a collection.
Yeah.
Right now, we need, if you've got 100 or more porcelain signs or 50, whatever, we need a collection right now for the November auction. Kind of as our base for the advertising. So we need porcelain signs, specifically Petroliana. I mean, the standard oil signs, Shell, any of the gas signs or tires and any of the products.
Gas globes individually, too, those sell well.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, nothing too small. I mean, I remember, Randy, you walking out of a woman's house once and you're walking down the stairs and there was an oil can sitting on the shelf there. And you said, what about this? She said, will it sell?
Yeah, she said, take it.
Just an oil can, one oil can.
One oil can,
What'd you get for it? Do you remember?
$3,800.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the ones that are round, those round oil cans are valuable.
Depending on the...
We've had a couple of them.
Yeah, depending on the manufacturer. That's what it all boils down to, is the names on them and such like that.
Okay.
So, very common ones, $40, $50. But then you'll have oil cans that go way up into the thousands of dollars. So.
Wow. Do you have any oil cans? Go to your garage right now. Go look in your garage right now for oil cans. And then send us a picture at consign@DonleyAuctions.com.
And then we're always looking for coin-operated machines. Anything coin-operated. You got pinball machines in your basement. I mean, we've got upwards of $10,000, $12,000 for pinball machines. Average pinball machines brings into the low thousands. I mean, the baseball ones, those are very sought after. The pitch and bat ones, any of the gun games, the shooting games, bowling machines, they're good, but they've fallen off a little bit. The markets have become a little saturated, but they still sell. But anything coin-op, small counter games.
Like those skill games with the little pegs.
Yeah.
That all sells well.
Trade
Looking
stimulators,
for some of that.
anything coin-op is big, can be very, very big money. Architecture, we're looking for bars and back bars. We're looking for leaded glass windows, leaded glass lamps.
Well, Susan, you brought up just on the way here today some of the bars, the prices that we've gotten for some of the bars.
Oh, my gosh. Because I really wanted to see what was our highlights of the year and the history of Donley Auctions. And, of course, the Haverhill Soda Fountain Bar sold for $170,000. Plus BP. And then we had that 1898 Brunswick that sold for well over $100,000, that is.
Was that the San Juan with the naked ladies on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Gene Autry Triple Brunswick was well over 70 on that one. So always looking for big, heavy stuff, right, you guys? Bars and back bars. Call Randy and Mike.
And it's funny because that beautiful bar with the ladies on it, the gentleman that bought it from us actually bought it to put in his office. And then it didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't fit into his plans after the architect had looked at it and redesigned and everything. So they kind of designed the bar out of his office, and we resold it again.
And he made a profit on it.
He did.
Of course he did. Wow. So, yeah, if you have anything like that, give us a call at 815-923-7000. We love bars and back bars.
And if things have a story, too. That's so important. Sometimes the provenance can add so much value to an item. If you know where it came from, if you have a vintage picture of it and such like that. So always try and provide the provenance on things, too.
Well, you bring that up, Mike, and we have sold Coke machines. Good Coke machines always sell in the thousands. Mm-hmm. But we sold a Coke machine from the 1933 World's Fair for $40,000.
And that was the first one. Actually, they were designed, I think there was only 6 or 8 of those made. They were designed, the first machines to actually mix the soda, or the syrup and the soda together in exacting proportions. Before that, you had to put a little syrup in the glass and then add the seltzer water too, and that's why they're called soda jerks, because those were the guys who had to do the formula. And it was so inconsistent, from one store to another, that's why they designed that machine.
But interestingly, the machine was still here in Chicago.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
1933, and it was still laying around in somebody's attic that had been, kept it all these years and loved it, and time to turn it on.
Well, that's what we love, because most of the stuff we find is in the Chicago area, like that clamshell that just sold at our August auction.
Clamshell mutoscope, which is a viewing machine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. One of those where you turn the crank and you look and see the flip cards going by.
Mm-hmm. Those sell really well, too. So if you have anything like that, let us know.
Right. That particular one you're talking about sold for $18,000.
Wow. And how about the Mills Double Dewey? $40,000 for that one. So, folks, good coin-operated machines sell very well at auction. Consign now for our November Fall Classic. Give us a call at 815-923-7000 or consign at DonleyAuctions.com. Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
More of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. Thanks for sticking with us during that break. I'm Susan, co-owner of Donley Auctions, here with Randy and Mike Donley, talking about items we're looking for consignment for our November Fall Classic. We just got done talking about coin-operated machines in Petroliana, but tell them about this day on Sunday. What's coming up on that day?
During the November auction, we have a large collection of one-cylinder gas engines, the old farm implement engines, gas engines and steam engines. We're adding tractors to this day. So if you have any, again, one-cylinder gas engines of any type, whether they be gas engines or steam equipment, anything steam, we're always looking for, and tractors. That's what we're adding on Sunday of our November auction.
I know. I saw Mike had a big trailer full of these at the steam show in Sycamore.
Yeah.
We had quite a group of people looking at them, so hopefully there's a lot of attention on this.
It's surprising how popular they still are. And
yes.
For those of you who don't know, the one-cylinder gas engines were used on farms to replace horses for to drive the implements. They would hook a big belt onto it, and they would runs sawmills, grain mills. They did a lot of work on the farms.
Pumping water?
Pumping water, yes. So
I learned a lot at the steam show. I thought it was phenomenal. I can't wait to go to it again.
So, they kind of fell out of favor then once electricity came into the rural areas, but people still collect those, very collectible. A lot of the ones we have been restored. This collection came to us from one of our listeners in Indiana, and it's just a fabulous collection. So
That's going to be held on Sunday, November 17th. So watch our website for more information on that.
And Susan, I know you accuse me all the time of being all over the board on our show.
Oh, yes. Well, that's all right.
But I want to bring this up. I want to back up. We keep asking for coin-op items. Coin-op, coin-op, coin-op. Well, but what about coins? I mean, we do fabulous coin auctions. So we're always looking for coins, whether it's bulk silver or gold. But our coin auctions do so well because we sell so much of this numistically for the dates as opposed to scrap metal. So often, people take coin collections in and turn them in for just a scrap, when in fact they're worth way more depending on the dates and the value of individual coins.
And the beauty of doing a coin auction, which, by the way, the one we just held, we had over 900 lots. I'm pretty sure about 95% of those sold, and they're already shipped and gone already. It was such a great auction, and everybody's really happy. But the best part is that we have an in-house expert.
We do.
Ryan used to work at a coin shop, and he is just fantastic doing those descriptions and getting you the right prices.
Yeah, Ryan Boyle's full-time with us doing coins. That is one of his specialties, but again, Ryan does a lot more than that.
He goes, what else do you want me to do? Well,
he's big into sports, and we do have a sports auction coming up.
We're going to do that as one day in our November Fall Classic, too, because we're just going to kind of combine a lot of different things in the Fall Classic with our normal coin-op stuff that coincides with the coin-op show. And then we're going to add like the steam engines, sports memorabilia, possibly some arts and crafts furniture.
The sports auction, though, is going to be spectacular. I mean, there's some really super items that, folks, you have consigned to us, and I thank you for your consignments because really great items. We've got a Mickey Mantle a rookie card. We've got autographs. We've got Babe Ruth autographs, and really spectacular
and Ryan
pieces.
went and got several of those basketball autographs graded. Is that where he went to some kind of show and had everything graded, right?
Yes. A lot of the items certainly are graded.
And
that adds the value. That's another thing. Ryan will look at an item and he'll say, it's worth spending the money because it's a couple $100 to get them graded. But he'll look at it and say, well, if we sell it without the grading, it may only bring $200. Then add another $200 for the grading. Now the item might be worth $1,000. So that's where he's very good. He can look at something and say whether it's worth spending that money on it or not to have it graded.
Absolutely.
I saw there was a Michael Jordan basketball, so we'll see. Stay tuned on that one.
The one Babe Ruth photograph had been in the one family since the 1940s. Everybody knew it was a good autograph, but by spending, as you said, a couple $100, it's going to go way up in value now because that's all part of the provenance. We keep talking all the time provenance.
I know you mentioned the Rockford Peaches uniform. Any update on that?
Not yet. We're still working on that.
We talked about it on the last show. Still working on it. Okay.
And the reason you want to have things graded, not only for the value and such like that, is because of there are so many fakes on the market, and that's why these grading services have sprung up and almost become mandatory on some of the higher graded things, whether it be baseball cards or even comic books and such.
So, folks, another thing that we need you to do is go and continue to watch our podcasts. Susan, what do we know about that?
Yes, we will be doing a weekly podcast starting probably next week. We'll find out. But go to our website. That's where you're going to see them. You can even see podcasts of all of our radio shows we've done. But we're going to start doing some live podcasts coming up in the near future, so stay tuned.
And it's my understanding if you are watching our podcast now from this show, you'll be able to do the same thing with our upcoming podcast.
We'll have all kinds of great information for you, some education and things we're looking for to consign. We want to help you downgrade and make some money this year in 2024 and 2025. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Susan, an old guy like me, how do I get on a podcast?
How do you get on a podcast?
Yeah.
I know, right? You get on your phone. You're on your phone a lot, Mr. Donley. So you get on your phone, you go to DonleyAuctions.com, and there's a little tab there that will have the podcast.
Okay.
Just click on it. Because I know you like to watch your YouTube videos, right? So you know how to do that? Then you'll be able to watch our podcast. Not a problem. We'll keep it simple for you old-timers, that's for sure. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
The Donley Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. Susan, Randy, and Mike here talking about items you might have at home that are of value that you might want to put into one of our upcoming auctions. We have several, pretty much one a month, plus maybe an online-only auction here and there, but we are very busy here in Union, Illinois.
So if you need a job.
Speaking of, lots of work, we are always hiring. That's for sure.
Speaking of Labor Day.
Definitely need people who know how to describe collectibles.
If you know about antiques and are looking for work, we're looking to expand staff right now at Donley Auctions. So please give us a call.
Yeah, we've got Neil on firearms and Ryan on coins and sports. It's just so much coming in.
You bet.
Give us a call at 815-923-7000.
So, what do we got in December?
Oh, yeah, December. Let's talk about that. Our Civil War auction. We have a fantastic auction coming up Saturday and Sunday, December 14th and 15th, and Mike's going to give you a little bit of information on that.
Well, once again, we had a fabulous collection come in from one of our listeners, one of probably the largest collections in Chicago, I would say. This collection rivals any museum. I mean, I've just blown away still when I walk through our area, our storage area by photography, where it's all being photographed right now. Uniforms, guns, swords, photography. I mean, we just unpacked 14 canteens the other day of just vintage Civil War, Confederate and Union canteens. I mean, things you just never see. It is just heart-stopping to see this collection.
And the thing about this collection is the collector knew what he was doing because he only bought the best with provenance. I keep stressing this. The uniforms, we know who wore the uniforms. We know what battles they were in. The same thing with the swords and everything. Everything is ID'd in this collection. So it's just, with that one pistol, Mike, that Confederate pistol, is ID'd to a South Carolina colonel, I think.
Yep.
It's just absolutely great stuff.
Yeah, and we are looking for more. So if you have even one item from a relative or if you have collected Civil War items, we are still adding to this auction Civil War items, Native American, Western Americana. It all ties into what we're doing here. In fact, we're going to take the collection or portions of the collection. We're going to have it at the Civil War Show in Chicago coming up in September. And then we're taking in October down to the National Show in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And that's October 24th and 25th. So we're going to have a good portion of the collection because already word is out on this and collectors are talking about this all across the country already.
It really is going to be a highlight auction for Donley Auctions. So again, if you've got items that you want to get in this auction, this is something you don't want to miss.
And here's what you got to do. You got to call us at 815-923-7000 or better yet, email us at consign, C-O-N-S-I-G-N, consign at Donley Auctions with an S.com. Send us some pictures. Tell us what you have, and I will definitely get that email to Mike and Randy to give you a call.
And we do this because we want to help you liquidate what you have, and as we always say, make it fit in your wallet.
That's right. Now's the time. I had a friend come to one of our auctions. He drove all the way out from Antioch. Where's your Civil War? Do you have any Civil War stuff? I said, no, not right now, but I'm sure we'll have some coming in. Sure enough, as soon as I said that, this collection came in. So, Roger Mello, if you're listening, you come out to our auction in December, the most fantastic Civil War auction I think we have ever had.
By far, yes. And still plenty of time to get things in. So if you have any Civil War guns, any Civil War artifacts, even things like little daguerreotypes and pictures, they bring big money. I mean, I've seen Civil War daguerreotypes bring $5,000, $6,000. So
that's going to be a fun one. That's right. Just a quick recap. September, firearms and military. October, Rocktober, music. November, our fall classic. December Civil War. So if you have any questions, go to our website at DonleyAuctionsWithAnS.com. All of our dates and information is there. But for now, I'm Susan.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Randy Donley.
And we'll see you at the auction.
Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonleyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonleyAuctions.com.